Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. Welcome to the SimSport Racing International Endurance Series here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's round number 3. We are over in Italy at Misano for this next 2.4-hour jaunt around this incredible Italian circuit. It is Wester and the next Aston Martin alongside Hill in the number 13 Bentley, the top Bentley of the field. Ooh, right. This is going to be interesting to deal with. Very much looking forward to this. You looking forward to this, Dave?
I am, yeah. They've just been busy preparing the tyres, making sure the brakes are hot, getting ready for that turn 1, 2, 3 complex, which is really ultra tight and very competitive.
That it is. Riding on board with our pole man. As soon as the lights go out, we are racing 2.24 hours here in Misano, and away we go. We are racing here in Italy, and of course the grid is going to shuffle up a bit. Yes, it's an endurance race, but of course everybody's going to push as hard as they can to come through the first few turns, and already Kenichi trying to challenge for that top spot. Can't quite do it though. The Ferrari not quite overcoming the McLaren. Now there has been also a recent balance of power. Oh, that's trouble for the was that number 11? I think that was. I missed who that was, unfortunately. I didn't quite see, but there was one of the Porsches.
That was
great stuff there, but the top two have broken away very, very cleanly. The rest of the field do seem to be rather behaving themselves, but you can see on the map the couple of dots that are very much out of position. We saw one of the Porsches parked on that first chicane, but for the rest, so far so good.
Yeah, it looks like they've most of them had a reasonably clean start. Obviously, we've got a mixed grid today, so it's going to be quite difficult, especially for the GT3s getting past the GT4s cleanly. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a close race at the start there. They look fairly well matched. You know, the Ferraris obviously come on quite a lot since the latest update in the game, so it's going to be interesting how the strategies play out as well.
Didn't quite come to blows, but wow, that was close. Jumping back up the 6th place battle, it's Benny again. It's still chasing after Vanna. Now right behind him is Wester in the next Aston Martin. At a distance, the Aston and the McLaren can look a little similar, but that is definitely an Aston that is chasing. There you can see the Porsche of Christoph Holzer. Oh, hello, that's the Aston getting very up close and personal. That's not the ideal way of trying to take that position. And still side by side now, going through Querice and down to kind of a Taramondo, still side by side as they're coming through the double apex right-hander. Who's going to win out? The McLaren's going to have the inside line, but we have seen that Aston just plough through on that back straight already. Now the Aston's forced to the outside line. That's probably not going to yield anything. Right behind them is the McLaren of Partes, I believe. Oh dear, I thought the McLaren was going to pile into the back of the Aston then, but no, they managed to keep themselves nicely behaved. Yeah, very good fight already forming for 6th position. Of course, the field is still very condensed at this point, but no one's shy to get out there and get on with it. No one's playing the numbers game right now, which is great for us. Hopefully it doesn't undo their strategy at all. Well, saw his car almost being integrated with someone. Shellikins we've seen numerous times around these parts. That is our 8th place McLaren. That is, I've been trying to pronounce this correctly. Help me out here, Dave. How do we say this correctly?
I don't know. I'm going to let you do that one.
Thanks, mate. Oh, as he has a look on the inside of Klaas Wester in the Aston Martin. Can't quite get it done though. Very, very close. I'm going to have a go at this. Ridius Partes. Again, huge apologies if I'm nowhere near correct, but that's as close as I'm going to get. So that is about off the 7th position. And then right ahead of them, the two McLarens of Cas van Aert and Christian Benning. Having some way in the chaos ensued behind. Oh dear, that's, you never want to see it. It's a huge, huge problem then for Marco Veronese. Hopefully he's able to continue. Is Partes going to make a move here? He's kind of pushed out to the outside line. It's very hard to make a move there unless you're committed very, very early to it. There's not a huge braking zone down there. The McLarens are at it again. Well, actually, the McLarens, there's loads of them, but these two are at it again. The more they find, the more they bring. You just saw it in that shot. That three-way pack that is doing their best to close in. That is Klaas Wester, Idris Partes, and Simon Pike, Aston, McLaren and Bentley, the lead Bentley in the field, all closing in on them. And there is the Bentley, that is Simon Pike. In the Boatley, as it's often referred to as, brief yellow flag there, it disappeared. That was. There's our sixth place battle again. The 96 car, so still Christian Burney, still staring at the back of the number 8 car. They are slowing each other down, but I mean, races are still races. Let's be honest, you want to get on and try and gain as many positions as you can, despite the fact you've got another 2 hours. And you can't carry on 2 hours of this, although, oh me of little faith, this Burning then commits to the inside line. It was a bit of a rough line there from Van Aert on the exit of the penultimate turn, but now they're going to be side by side again, screaming down to the first chicane, and again, oh, that's a bit deep from Burning. He's trying to outbrake Van Aert, so that was partly intentional, I would have thought. But he could not make it stick, and now that three-way pack behind is very much involved in this duet. And the McLaren's just ignoring them, still side by side. Oh, come on, people. So it's of ours. Oh, my goodness me. Burning nearly gets collected by Vesta. Now he's got a different side-by-side to deal with. And then you've got the next McLaren of Bartes. 3 wide. Oh, my goodness me. Screaming down towards the Correccia. And Bartes has nailed both of them. What a great move there. It's now Burnings trying to get back alongside the Aston Martin of Vesta. Pike has got the better inside seat for the entire battle going on. So, oh, never mind. He's now just dived on the inside and nearly ploughed into the back of the Aston. Crikey, I could barely call out the action fast enough, but Burning from 6th down to 9th. So that, I think, is the G4 McLaren, and we jump back up to the battle for 6th. That's now Bartes that occupies that spot. Van Aert still in 5th position, and there in the background of the shot was Burning, I think getting past Pike, trying to regain some lost ground. Yes, he did. So that was Simon Pike in the Bentley losing that 8th position slot. As Bartes, he's in a really awkward spot here because he wants to concentrate on the McLaren ahead, but that's a car behind, which is Class Vesta in the Aston, isn't interested, it seems, on just letting him run the miles. He wants to get on with it as well. When you've got 2 cars close together, you kind of know how the dance is going to go. You punch and counter punch, or the slipstreaming going on. Oh, that got close. It was probably quite fine, but from that camera angle, that did look very, very close indeed. And look at that, look right behind. Burning and Pike have caught up with them.
Close, isn't it? This Abranosa is just holding back a little bit now over Balconi, but he's probably going to get back on his. He's just pulling a little bit closer. Still 2.6 seconds behind Rig. I think he pulled it into about 1.2. So that GT3s, those GT3s are really getting. Sorry, GT4s are really getting in the way.
Yeah, as is the nature of mixed class racing, the GT4s are going to be rather sitting ducks to when this pack of GT3s are coming through. Oh, that was late from Bartes, but he didn't slam into the back of the number 8. In fairness, Van Aert, well, essentially just minding his own business, just taking his own line. And oh wow, someone had a bit of a moment. Who's had a half spin there? Was that the Bentley? Yes, it was. Pike, he managed to catch it. Fair play. Side by side, going on quicker than I can call it, as Bartes has gone too deep, trying to make the move on Cas Van Aert, but could not get that one to stick for 5th position. Oh, Dave Hedges, you're barely going to get a word in edgeways, my good sir. We'll warn you of that. As this guy, look at the amount of GT4s they're catching. That's the McLaren you can see, which we think is Dormer, the 212 car. It's a bit fast too quickly for you to see the car number. So he's going to be really, really mindful of the fact there's a lot of GT3s around him. There's a Class Vesta, as we've just been seeing, putting on some great entertainment for us in the number 90 car. Now, as is standard for multi-class racing, it is up to the faster class to work their way past the slower ones. You do not ever want the slower cars trying to get out of the way. Oh, that's getting very, very dicey now. Coming into the final turn. Whoa, Simon Pike going very, very deep into Misano. Nearly flying off into the dust, but just about keeping it there. And look at the bottom of the shot. That's Van Aert and Vesta. Not only kind of minding their own business and trying to get past one another, but in amongst all the GT4s, oh, I would not want to be down there right now. Complete lie. I'd love to be actually racing in there, although I would never last. I can manage about 40 minutes before my shoulder blades are screaming in open rebellion at me. But wow, fair play to all these drivers. No one was sent off into the shadow realm. Yeah, everyone's car is still the same shape. Oh no, literally just as I've said it. I had a feeling as soon as those words left my mouth, someone was going to bounce off of someone, and it was burning in the 96 McLaren that just tapped the side of a GT4. He's only lost the one position, I believe, to Simon Pike. So commentator choices, yeah, they're going to be strong tonight.
Yeah, look at it though. It's a melee, and the GT3 drivers, hats off to them. They've been been clean. They're obviously racing really close. I mean, you've got like 20 cars there in the space of one.
There's Partes working his way through some more of the GT4 pack. Oh, again, getting very, very condensed. So that's 5th, 6th and 7th in the race with the GT4 BMW mixed in there for good measure. I think that is Julian Asher in the GT4 BMW trying not to get in the way. Side by side, Klaas Vester alongside the McLaren of Idris Partes. But again, no change in position. Yeah, the Red Mist has descended. They've completely binned the fact that this is an endurance race. Oh, says Partes. Beg your pardon, Van Aert has gone a little bit too deep. Klaas Vester doesn't need a second invitation of that, but his line compromise coming through that left-hander. Oh, 3 wide again. We've seen it work once. Is Klaas Vester going to lose out here? Oh, this could get interesting, could get very expensive. Well, in a virtual sense, of course, no one's picking up the repair bill. Oh, Simon Pike's gone for a bit of a wander as well. He wants to examine the runoff area on the outside line just to make sure it's safe and, of course, integral to everything. Partes then up into 6th. Klaas Vester is still there, still not one. Hang on, and amazingly, Kaz Van Aert is held on the 5th throughout this entire exchange.
Well, they must be sweating in those cockpits. It's full on. You don't want to be on the outside on that corner there. Klaas Vester's, I think he's got position 8 into turn 32. Oh, they're touching.
Yeah, that was a little bit inevitable, unfortunately. It's just the track pinches a little bit as they turn. But I cannot believe that they've reappeared in the same positions that they were when that whole business took off. Absolutely incredible stuff. Oh, here we go again. Can't look away from Klaas Vester for too long. Tries to cut back underneath Kaz Van Aert. Not another 3 wide. Yep, we've got another one. And with a BMW GT4 in the mixture for good measure. Why not? Because they clearly need more obstacles to get round and to make their life even harder. My goodness me. As Partes nearly slams into the side of the Aston Martin. The Aston's exit was compromised. Here comes Simon Pike now. No, oh, the McLaren's getting raised quickly. Oh no, clouts the BMW that gets collected by the Bentley. I cannot call it quick enough. That got very ugly very quickly. That is the nature of a very busy track. It was a great shame, but that's the way it goes, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah, I could see some penalties coming his way potentially there. It's got a bit aggressive into the corner, especially when you've got a slower car in front of you. You've got to be careful and just take your medicine if another car is on your outside.
Let's see what. So this is a replay of when this seemingly forever amount of battle. So there you go. You saw the McLaren. That's Partes get a little bit squeaked out. I wonder if he just locked up a little bit on the brakes, trying to either missing his braking point just a tiny bit. Either way, it was him that then got a little bit out of shape coming down towards the right-hander. Oh, here we go again. it's these two again. Burning has caught back up to Van Aert with all the fighting going on. This fight's resumed. I can't believe this. Battle for 5th, Van Aert and Burning, despite the fact that lots of people have joined this party and still left. You know you've got those two party goers that just will not leave the venue, even though last orders have been called, the venue's been shut, security about to chuck them out. That's what I'm thinking for these two, as Burning gets very squeaky on the brakes coming through turn 1.
At least they're not the ones draped over the chairs throwing up.
Very much no, they are giving it everything it can. Right behind, who's there? It's the Aston once again at Class Vesta. They are joined by the pink accent, well, pink, sort of, the colourful, shall we say, BMW. That's Aaron van Drunen that has joined this party. He's on the back of Class Vesta. About 3 seconds back is Carl van Horn in the next McLaren. There you go. He's in his own little battle. He just saw the top of the shot with Ian Thompson and Lewis Clark. We are, 25 minutes almost in and still got tracks going on and still Burning having an argument with Van Aert. Oh, Struth alive with Vesta back in the fight again and now bringing Van Drunen alongside him. Struth! Yeah. Oh, that's close! Oh, goodness me, that was very well driven from both of them, that they didn't send each other off into the dust. That's Vesta with the inside line coming through the next right-hander. That's down at Curva del Rio. Oh, and the McLaren's gone wandering. Burning's going to lose another position here as the BMW of Aaron van Drunen comes through. No, Aaron can't hold it, but that's Burning challenging for 5th and ending up in 7th.
It's just excellent racing, isn't it? You know, they're very close. Here we go with Vesta trying to sling one up the inside or just getting the switchback. Looks like you've got to run. Might go around the outside here, but it's very difficult getting there. You might have to try the switchback again.
Now, which of these have you driven these cars, Dave? What would be your weapon of choice?
For the endurance stuff, the Aston's probably the better one because it seems to be a bit better on tyres. It's quite easy to drive throughout its stint. It doesn't really get too affected by the heaviness of the fuel, whereas the McLaren, you really have to push the McLaren. It just wants to turn. So you're constantly on throttle, so it's a much more aggressive car. But they're both very capable, and with Mullard up front, he's proving the McLaren's a good car to have for the race.
Yeah, now I was watching the Ferrari behind, which is actually in the hands. That driver name changed during lap 1, I'm fairly sure. It's now Luca Balconi that has the number 267. As Vesta has now got ahead of he's still being challenged by Burning, who is still being challenged himself by Van Drunen. That Ferrari was under 2 seconds behind Mullard, but either a mistake or traffic has caused him to fall back to about 4.2 seconds. So Ben Mullard up front, he's just basically ignoring the rest of the world at this point and is dancing off into the sunset, but everybody else is having an absolutely wonderful scrap. Vesta now looking for 5th position, and okay, that was either a very strange line or that was Kaz Van Aert defending fresh air, because no one was on that line. Oh, Van Drunen feeling a bit of pressure there, now in 6th position. That's Christian Burning wanting to reclaim that 6th position he seems to have been in all night long so far. Look at the face on that BMW. I mean, the front grille and light arrangement alone is enough to intimidate most drivers. Angry Beamer that makes quite an angry noise as well. On board then with the McLaren of Christian Burning, as we have nicely done one of the GT4s getting out of the way. It is very unnerving when you do come off your line. You just hope that those around you do mind their own business properly. Look at the BMW though, nicely done. Mr. Proudly jumping on board with the 69 car, having a look at the inside line, but no one's close enough on that Class Vesta to try and make a move. Pressuring though, keeping his presence very much known. That's not 4th position that we're catching up with. That's another GT4. That's the Ginetta, the sole Ginetta of the GT4. Mark Pimlott, whom I have commentated on numerous times in these parts. Good to see him out there. And proving a very popular boy. So I hold endurance races in the utmost respect. It is incredibly hard to keep pace lap after lap after lap after lap and not make what can be very, very minor mistakes. Either like you said, Dave, just letting off the brake at the wrong moment, or just holding getting on the brake slightly either too late or too early. And when the field is this close, when there's this much battling going on, it just makes those mistakes really exasperating. So we now jump back to our 6th place. Aaron van Drunen in the brightly coloured, although angry-faced BMW. I think all BMWs have got the same front arrangement, so they're all angry in my eyes. chasing off Klaas Vester. He's held that fifth for a little while now in the Aston Martin. BMW going a little deep, going through Tremonto. There in the background is Christian Berning. He's never been far away from this position for very long. And he's looking to rejoin it as quickly as he can. BMW again, that's Van Drooning. Falling a little bit off the back of Klaas Vester. As the Aston deploys its horses along that back straight. It's going to lose out a little bit in the twisty bits. I've not driven these particular GT3s. I kind of have not a love-hate relationship as such, but I tend to find that I'm too clumsy. I'm too clumsy for the GT3s. What's Mr. Neuterling's done? Oh, there he goes. Oh, wow, that impact was slightly netcode exaggerated there, because that touch shouldn't have spun him that hard. But that is the joy of sim racing. As you see, Van Droonen now closed back in on his prey. Yeah, that is Klaas Vester he's closed in on. Just double checking he's closed in on the car. I thought he had. And there is Berning in the back row.
I really think we're going to see some penalties soon, because some of these nudges, they're exaggerated by netcode, but some of these are just clumsy moves, and they're just, people are just obviously sailing off into the sunset once they've taken someone out. So I expect that's probably going to be penalised by the live stewards.
Dimion de Kaiser is the Porsche that's just been passed, the 777, the yellow car there. So again, minding his own business. Plodding on quite nicely, about 5 seconds behind the 84 BMW of Michael Hoekman. That's kind of midfield in the GT4s, I think. Oh wow, that BMW it's getting a bit squiggly under the brakes. That is such a difficult place to keep braking and turning. It's I thought we'd be seeing more issues down there than we've seen so far, but the nature of the beast. They're well practiced there, but they're going to make mistakes throughout the field. That is Michael Hoekman, the GT4 BMW, is just minding his own business, doing exactly what he needs to do. You saw he stayed on the racing line and just hit his braking point, just did his own thing, which is absolutely correct. Now, those that might be less familiar with endurance racing might wonder why he didn't jump off the racing line. Now, the reason why the slower class doesn't do that is because the faster class will always plan their move well in advance of executing it. Well, they should do it. Sometimes they're obviously forced into having to make a very sudden move. But when you're trying to make a move at, I don't know, 150, 170 kilometers an hour, if suddenly the car you're trying to pass jumps into your way just as you commit to the move, you try and make a sudden stamp move at, say, 150 plus kilometers an hour, you're either going to plow into one another or you run the risk of chucking your car off into the dust. That's why the slower class just needs to be predictable. It needs to just hold its line and let the faster class worry about themselves. They've got the pace to do it. They've usually got the grit to do it as well. So just let them get on with it. They'll figure their own way out. Van Droonen. Oh, they're going to try and stick one on the inside of Vester. Oh, well held, sir. That could have gone horribly wrong. I'm not entirely sure that he meant to make a move there. I think he just happened to have a bit of overspeed. But, yeah, well driven from both of them. As Vester slightly put off there by the GT4. That would have been... Let's figure out who that was. Oh, never mind. As Van Droonen has nosed ahead of the Aston Martin. The McLaren is following suit, and that's 5th position to the BMW. Nice move there from Van Droonen, now up into 5th position in the 69 BMW.
Yeah, he took advantage of the GT4 being slightly in the way there, just got the run going a little bit wider into the corner and just getting it straight as best he could. So, yeah, well played there. Just that's the best way in trench racing.
You unfortunately lost a little bit of Dave's audio there. Hopefully he's able to. Oh! Now, was there impact there with the McLaren, or did he just jump out from behind Klaas Vester? It's true, that got very lively. Oh, lovely back shot here from Van Droonen, who himself's gone a little bit deep. Oh, as now Klaas Vester getting very, very lively. That's just look how close they are It's corner after corner, lap after lap. You can see that Vesta is just trying to get that momentum to retake the BMW, and then Bruning, who's I've been calling him Bruning. It's Burning, isn't it? I just realised I've been saying that wrong all night. So apologies there. It's Christian Burning in the 96 McLaren. He's been in this position all night. He's been trying to get up into that 5th place, and is now back on the case of doing so. Once again, back on the case of Klaas Vesta, who's just lost a tiny bit of ground on Van Droonen. See what he's able to do from there. The car I couldn't quite identify earlier was Mark Ham in the 208 BMW, was the one that got past as Van Droonen was making his move. So that was the car I couldn't identify at the time. And there you saw Christian Burning trying to make a move on Klaas Vesta. Couldn't quite get it done though, coming down into turn 1. That's allowing the BMW to start to stretch his legs a little bit and get away from the warring pair. Although right ahead of Van Droonen is our GT4 leader. That's the treble 1 car, Sander Vale. I think that was his car. That's the back view from Klaas Vesta. So, he's done that, the McLaren's fallen a little bit off the back. But again, you saw Klaas move over to the left-hand side, obviously, right as we're looking at it here. Very, very early. He was defending fresh air there, unless he was anticipating. Obviously, we couldn't see where Sander Vale was there. We'd just come past him. But I wonder whether he's anticipating the McLaren following suit. He didn't, so he ended up defending fresh air, and now as Burning comes very, very close to the tail of Klaas Vesta once again. You see Klaas is taking some slightly alternate lines whilst coming past, and that's the GT3 back marker we've just gone past. Not 100% sure who that was. It was a very colourful livery, whoever it is. Oh, again, Christian Burning had to get out of that. He was getting a bit close to the back of the BMW. Sometimes you really do not want to be that close to someone you're coming past, so fair play, as he hasn't collected the back of the Aston at the moment. And look at the gap then that's opening up to Van Droonen. Okay, it's not huge, but it is getting bigger because now the McLaren and the Aston are having an argument. McLaren going to the outside lines. Oh, he's gotten alongside. Can he make it work? Not quite. Great camera work, Mr. Proudly. Thank you for that. But, and again, the Aston is compromised on the exit of the chicane. Is this an opportunity then for Christian Burning to try and relieve the Aston of that position? Not quite. Now Klaas Vesta's going to have the inside line for the next 2, and Christian Burning is going to have to reappear back where he was. And I believe catching the back of them is Abrenhauser as he closed in. I think that is. I think that's the 3-2-1 car. It is. It's Nelson Abrenhauser, who, like I said earlier, just been slowly and surely making his way through the field. He started somewhere in the team positions, now up to 8th place, capitalising on the misfortunes of others, yes, but he's been setting really consistent lap times. Brother Mike up in 3rd position, very lonely. He's 7 seconds behind Balconi and 6-ish ahead of Halser, so he's just on his own position-wise. But this 3-way battle looking to resume, now being joined by Abrenhauser.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be thinking about pit stop soon. Obviously, 43 minutes into the race, roughly, it's pit stop time soon. So the next drivers are going to be thinking about what they're going to do, set their tyre pressures, try and get in and out of the pits without speeding and getting a stop-go 30, which is race killer eventually. So looks like it's hottening up. But yeah, as you say, Abrenhauser in 8th there, he's really pulled up to the back of these guys, and he's now got a battle. So he's not going to be driving as quickly as he has. So he's going to have to take some time off his lap times. Just be patient. Just wait for the mistakes, because these two battling but they are making little mistakes.
And they are, as we see them just working their way through the first sector of the lap now onto the straight, heading down towards Quartier. Again, you see the Aston's just kind of straight lining that little kink there, so that's why you wander over on the left on that particular point. And sometimes it does look like they're actually defending fresh air. Again, look at the McLaren taking a very, very different line on the exit of Quartier. Doesn't yield anything. Oh, I say that, but then they get side by side through Tremonto. But that's not the side that he wants. he wants to be taking the inside line, does Christian Berney, to try and get the run on the inside for the next few turns. Hasn't paid off though, and he's going to force him again outside line. The defensive work from Klaas Vester is absolutely superb. He's been defending for absolutely ages. He's like you said earlier, Dave, he must be absolutely sweating in there. He's working very, very hard and successfully so far to keep what must feel like the whole world behind him.
No, it's just as difficult actually to follow so closely because you can't see your braking points. You've really got to have practiced driving behind people in your practice, so you know where your braking points are, especially if people start taking out braking markers and you know, when the track gets rubbered in, you might lose a line that's on the track that you might have used. So you've got to be really confident with your braking points, you know, so you don't get the concertina and start just ploughing into the back of a car. That's
exactly it, isn't it? As well as the physical markers are different, or how you see them is a bit different. You've also got to bear in mind that you're going to be in a slipstream effect chasing someone down a straight, which means your braking point is going to have to be adjusted because you're hitting it at a slightly faster pace. Oh, this point's gone a tiny bit too deep. Oh, there we go. He has gone very much too deep now. And that's why you don't give up on a position, because it's just as easy for your pursuer to make a mistake and back through into position. No, that's the BMW. That's Van Drunen for 5th position, facing the wrong way. Oh no! Hopefully we'll catch up with a replay of what's happened to him. But oh no, for 5th place, Aaron Van Drunen working so hard to get up there, and it's all come undone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It's just, well, let's see if he did make contact with anybody or someone made contact with him. But it'd be disappointing if he lost it himself there, wouldn't it?
That's the worst, especially when you work very hard to get up there. What's he done? Whoa, that's deep. I thought he was going to struggle to slow that one down, but he did actually manage to slow that down. That's going to be a touch there, isn't it? Yep, there it is. Oh, and as he's tried to keep it under control, the tyres have bit in, and he's really out pace there at the moment. As we jump back to, that's the number 96 car, that is Christian Berney, who's still attached to the back of Klaas Vester. They're still having an argument for 5th place. So they have lost Abernhauser though. He is about 1.6-ish behind, with a few cars in between themselves. So look how close Christian Berney gets. So again, you've got basically a repeat of the picture-in-picture. Oh, there you go. You've got both these pictures showing two very, very close battles, which, yeah, the action has been absolutely relentless. Again, reminder drivers, it's a 2.4-hour race. You've got quite some way to go. Okay, you are handing over. There is a driver swap that these drivers will be going through. It's not, as far as I know, no one can go the whole 2.4 hours solo, can they?
No, they'll get a penalty for not completing the driver's stint. So, I think anybody that is driving that, they'll take the penalty, just in case. Obviously, as we know, internet and people's schedules might change at last minute, so they end up having to drive on their own. But no, we don't promote them to do so as an entry, because otherwise it just doesn't work with the sim. But I'm just wondering, how long Simon's gonna take before he decides to maybe allow the guy in front of him to take the inside line into turn 4, so he compromises him rather than always trying to go up the inside, because it's not working for him. McLaren's obviously capable of braking a little bit later and just getting back round the outside of him.
Oh no, that's Klaas Vester that bounced off. Oh no, that got very ugly very quickly. We didn't quite see how that started. There's probably just too many people trying to share the same piece of tarmac there, as we saw somebody pinning into the pits there. So that's Klaas Vester that has been there's Abernhauser, Nelson Abernhauser, that's caught up with him. But so Klaas is now up to 5th. That's who was in the pits. It was Burning. Christian Berney's brought his car in. So I was just thinking, where on earth did he go? Into the pit lane is where he went. So he'll be handing over the number 96 McLaren to his teammates. So we'll see who that is very, very shortly. There is Nelson Abernhauser. That is now up to 6th position through either misadvantage or pit stops of others. And he's not wasting any time. He's closed in already on the back of Vester. So this is what happened to Vester then. So we're looking slightly further up. So Vesta then bounces off the Porsche. Oh, I see. So it was. I think that's actually the Chevrolet that had a half spin there. That then, unfortunately, Vesta had no way of avoiding that, which obviously then lost him all the momentum. And the number 96 McLaren has gone past him. When that's also thrown him into the clutches of Nelson Appenhauser. Look at that back of Piranha's determined to make the best of it. But then, half of this race might feel like a sprint race to some of these guys. I mean, I'd be absolutely dead if I tried to drive even half this kind of length. About 45 minutes and my shoulders are absolutely screaming. So, I'm not built for this sort of thing.
Yeah, we used to actually the last race of our single driver series used to be a double points, double header. Sorry, not double header, but double length race. So we did 2.5 hours at the on the Nordschleife my first season with the guys, and that was an interesting time. I know Mr. Proudly, our broadcaster, did a 24-hour stint on his own for charity. 12 hours, sorry, not 24. Yeah,
12 hours of Nords in a GT3. I mean, fair play, Steve, but I think I'd rather sit in a bathtub of piranhas personally. But then I'm not a fan of Nords. Yes, I said it. I will be hated by the endurance fraternity for that. Come at me. But who's going to be coming in? Well, not this man, Nelson Appenhauser, up into 6th position, still chasing the back of Class Vesta. Who's in the 96? So he's now in the hands of Daniel Krebs. Now has the 96 McLaren, so we'll see if he's able to rejoin this battle when they come in. Whoa, Appenhauser! Well, fair amount of overspeed there against Class Vesta. The two Astons having an argument as Nelson Appenhauser wanders a little bit wide, coming through Corsia. Cannot make it work though, as the GT4 lead is now in the way. I say in the way, that's a little unfair, but I mean, it very much feels like that. Sander Vale is doing a stunning job out there in the Porsche. Very much minding his own business and keeping as absolutely awesome pace. Oh, you see the BMW behind. Oh, that's a big move from Appenhauser. The Vesta bounces off of him, still side by side. Vesta notices back up ahead of him. Can he make it work? He's going to try it, but no. Nelson Appenhauser should have the drive to get back into the wall as they nearly come together again. Nelson Appenhauser has to wander a bit wide. No, Class Vesta's going to have the inside line for Misano. I wondered if he was going to hold that. Ow, my goodness me, and then storming through. Who's that? That's Kroll, that's Dennis Kroll in the Lexus that's come screaming in. Where on earth did he come from? A fantastic move. Absolutely great. So Vesta is finally been, dethroned. Oh, and yeah, Dennis Kroll doesn't want to waste any time either. Trying to work his way through the field. Almost got Appenhauser then, but not close enough to do so. Back up to speed again. I confess I'm not sure where the Lexus kind of sits as far as power and cornering efficiency. I'm assuming it's in the kind of cornering efficiency camp, although saying that really gets the pace on the Aston Martin coming down to Corsia again. How's the Lexus kind of sit in the power versus handling state of this class?
I think it's a very steady car. It does seem to have good top end, and obviously the corner in there wasn't great, but he was on the outside, and it's really, really tricky for grip on the outside of the corner there. So that's why he lost the position.
This is car 8, so that is Van Aert. Oh no, he's dropped it! Well done for keeping him out of the wall. So that was Kaz Van Aert. Bearing in mind he was challenging he was in this pack very early on. As we see, Krolls has got a little bit wide, costing them a little bit of momentum, and Vesta's back through into 6th position. So the two would swap round before we saw that take that spot. Mistake. That's Dennis Kroll again. He's still arguing with Vesta. Appenhauser just saw the tail of his car go out of the shot there. It's Lexus versus Aston. Without this time, as Lexus has a look on the outside line, going down into turn 1, never going to make that work from that far back. So again, just piling on the pressure to try and wrestle that 6th position back. So He did have it briefly, but wasn't able to hang on to it. And then right behind them is Lewis Clark. We haven't seen him for a while. Saw him facing the wrong way a number of laps back. But there he is in the Aston, and closing in on this pack again. Whilst they're fighting, they are slowing each other down. And looking at the tower, it looks like Pike has managed to get ahead of John Beat. So we'll check in with them in a little bit. Oh, can the Lexus get the drive he needs to get alongside Vesta? It's going to put Kroll on the outside line again. And no, he's going to bow out of that one. He knows this is just not going to work, being on the outside line of a double right-hander. There goes Abernhauser. Look at the distance that has granted the 5th place Nelson Abernhauser, because they're fighting. That's around about 2.5 seconds. Here comes Alexis, gaining momentum so quickly. Got awesome corner exit speed, but just can't quite make it work again. Glass Vesta, whoa, as he's got a tiny bit too deep himself. Is that going to be an opportunity? Whoa, okay, that's quite a liberty with the track limit, sir. You don't want to be doing that too often. And in comes Lewis Clark right behind. Ooh, that was a bit late there from Vesta, coming into the final turn. On board then with the Lexus, can't quite get the drive he wants to get alongside Vesta, or can he? No, that's a little bit of kind of lag and descent going on, which is causing that really odd concertinaing effect. Lewis Clark's got a decent look. Oh, I thought the Lexus was going to try and get alongside the Aston. Then here comes the next Aston in line, Lewis Clark. Oh, I thought he might try and move on the inside line there, but opted not to. And there's the Lamborghini of Ian Thompson. So, wow, we are getting quite a conga line forming here. And not far behind them, I believe, is Joseph Krufel in the next McLaren. There's the Lamborghini. There's the McLaren. Whoa, that was Krufel getting very, very quickly. Coming onto that straight then, and slightly further ahead, you saw the Ginetta there. That is, I forgot who's in the Ginetta. That is Mark Pimlott. Oh, wow, that's a big off track there. That's Kroll gone for a big old wander, and that's Lewis Clark gained both positions. Well, he didn't have to fight too much, he was gifted it.
Yeah, it's just little mistakes, isn't it? Yeah, especially when you're running so close. I mean, we've got probably 6 cars here in the space of that straight now, which obviously a lot less than it was at the start, but yeah, it's still really tight racing, and yeah, the GT4s are doing really well and helping the racing no end here.
Oh, again, getting very tight. You really do not want to be catching a slower car through these twisty bits. That was Mike Shellikens. Oh, it's been a while since we've seen you, sir. He's caught the back of the BMW of Martin Oitlings. Both of these cars have had quite a few misadventures during the course of the race. So they come onto the straight, coming through from Carolina Del Rio.
So it's a penalty for car 195, 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that's Partes. He's come into the pits then, so he's going to be serving that now. Shellikens has managed to get past Neutellings. Look at the back right ahead of them. It's quite a group of cars there, not all of them for position. Vesta is in the pits. So I saw his name falling through the field, but that would be why, as he's going into the pit lane entry. Oh my goodness. This is a nervous time when you're in your own battle and you've got a big pack of cars that you're closing in on quickly. Oh, Mike Shellikens.
Simon Pike there as well, Chris. Simon Pike, 10 seconds.
Ah, yes. That's a shame for the Bentley. Oh, it's...
Mark has been a bit rude there, to be honest. It's taken a long time to get out of the way, and that's just allowed Adrian to get back on these coattails.
It's Klaas Vesta again, as that's Tim Kroll ahead. He's served his drive-through penalty. Now the Aston is back on the case of the Lexus. Now, has the Lexus burned the best out of his tyres, or will the Aston be able to do something about it? This is where the Aston's been pretty strong along this back straight. That's not very straight at all. And no, not this time. Lexus have been very, very good, particularly on corner entry. Aston's going to have to really think about how it's going to try and wrestle that position. He's just going to have to basically hustle a mistake out of Tim Kroll, which is no easy feat whatsoever. That'll for 10th position then, with less than 37 minutes remaining of this race. And all race long, we've had battles somewhere. There hasn't been any time when we haven't had a fight for position going on somewhere. Absolutely fantastic stuff from our drivers.
it's been really close and, you know, mostly clean. There's been a few reports, but looks like a lot of them have been racing incidents. Just to follow up on Kroll, it wasn't a reported incident, so it looks like it was track limits for sure. I think we're going to see a few more of those in the last 36 minutes as well.
More than likely, as the best of the tyres are gone, fatigue's kicking in, or as we see the number 8 McLaren, Jim Van Kooten, now in 8th position. That was race leader coming past him, as Vesta getting very close again to the back of the Lexus. Is he going to try and make a move in? No. At the moment, just the pace advantage that Lexus has in the twisty bits is enough to build up a gap to the Aston for when the Aston can get its horses galloping. And there you go, you see the Lexus still pulling away from corner exit. That's a back marker staying out of the way. It's one of the GT4 McLarens. And there you go, that's where the Aston could potentially try and get its horses going to try and challenge the Lexus, but the Lexus just built up enough gap to keep Vesta behind. So yeah, Klaus Vesta is going to have to work pretty hard to make a move. Another drive-through penalty has been applied. That's Johan Planas in the 136. Again, you're allowed to do it as long as you don't impede the car that you're unlapping yourself from. But in doing so, in attaching himself to the back of the 77, that gave him the momentum he needed to get ahead of Menzies. Very, very nicely done. Klaus Vesta, though, hasn't got such an easy run of things, as it's still trying to challenge for 10th position. But it's likely to be a position coming his way when Darren Menzies comes in to serve his drive-through.
Yeah, it looks like car 74 is being caught by the chaps we were talking to earlier. So that's they've done well. I'm just trying to think. It looks like they might have had another pit stop, to be honest. So maybe that was it a drive-through they had?
No, they've changed driver.
They've changed, yes. Pit
so.
two
Yeah.
pit stops.
So yes, Lars Van Cleef now has the number 74. They are behind Jakob Verver. So yeah, they've actually been in the pits. As the Aston, has he finally managed to do it? Oh, that was close. My goodness me. Very, very close indeed. But Klaus Vesta, oh, can he hold it from Tim Kroll? Side by side, the Lexus wants to try and get back ahead. Oh, and look how close the next McLaren is. That's not for position behind them, or is it? No, yes, it is. It's Daniel Krebs, beg your pardon, in the 96 McLaren. So that's a three-way fight now for 10th position that is back in the hands of the Lexus. Very briefly, Klaus Vesta had it. And again, the cornering efficiency being that much better in the Lexus meant he's able to wrestle it back again.
I take it you guys are aware that Klaus is driving on his own tonight?
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's doing this full race tonight.
I had thought that he'd been in there a long time.
So at the end of the race, he's going to get an automatic penalty because he's going to be exceeded driver stint time.
A shame, but fair play for him for giving it a go, though, to be honest. I think he's mad, but I'm assuming it's necessity that has meant that he's had to do it. Presumably that his partner in crime wasn't able to come along. But look at this. You see that how close he's getting to the Lexus ahead, and in the mirrors, lovely position camera, you can just see the McLaren dancing around of Daniel Krebs, trying to hustle for that position. So you've got Lexus versus McLaren versus Aston, as Darren Menzies is in to serve his driving penalty. So of course these guys gain a position. There's the outside shot of the Aston fending off the McLaren. So they've fallen a little bit off the back of the Lexus. Is Krebs going to make a move? Not yet, or is he? Not quite. No, Klaus Vesta does manage to fend off the advances of the McLaren. There is a back marker just ahead of them. So it's not the next one down the road as far as position is concerned. That's Jim Van Kooten. Jim Van Kooten, I'll get his name right in a minute. There's the questionably liveried Mercedes. I won't forgive you, that is a horrible colour scheme. I think that was number 47 car, so that is Rene van Oosterbrugge. Has that one. On board with Krebs, you can see there, so that's essentially the back of this three-way fight. He backed out of that a little bit, didn't fancy gaining. He was thinking about it quite sensibly, he's not just gaining and then banzaiing a move. Actually, he's trying to pick the right moment to make a move. There's the Lexus. That's why I did think the Lexus has suddenly lost a bit of time. That's because the Ginetta, Stay Hilton, was in the midst of that. That backed the Lexus back into the clutches of these two. Up front, the Ferrari now leads the 77 McLaren by nearly 5 seconds. So again, they on home turf, the 267 is just galloping off into the distance.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the penalties that 4, 5 and 6 has got as well, and it looks like there could be a little bit of a change around of the order up there. Boyd potentially being one that might leap up the table.
Yes, good spot. And the number 9 Lamborghini is within the 15 seconds to Maurice Wagener. Wouldn't gain 5th. He would certainly gain 6th from Wagener at the moment. Oh, yeah, the McLaren got a bit squiggly there, coming out of that left-hander. So Krebs having to catch it. It seems the McLarens are really misbehaving now. So we were on board with the 77 earlier on. We saw how much counter-steering had to go on during their race. And we saw the tail get very lively in the 96 McLaren. Assetto still keeping an eye on the Lexus ahead. Has now broken a little bit free of the McLaren. And Lexus just powers off enough to keep the Aston at bay.
Just thinking, those cars that obviously stopped quite early, you know, a lot of them have already done 2 stops, but some still with only 1. And doing an hour and 15 minutes on a set of tyres is a push, especially at this rate on this track. You know, with the close racing we've had, and you know, that looks like
oh no!
Grass.
Well, that's one way to relinquish a position. He's going to lose another one as he bounces over the bollards as well. So, yeah, that's Kroll losing 2 position there. Vesta, can he try and break away? Well, now's a great opportunity unless Tim Kroll can get past that McLaren. I mean, he's been pretty mighty so far as Tim Kroll, so Krebs is going to have quite the job to keep the Lexus behind him. We will see then as we are fast approaching the last section of the race. Oh, wow, that's getting lively. There's now suddenly, there's Vesta. Now the McLaren's having a go. The Lexus in short order. Then a Porsche. Oh, the Rothmans flavoured Porsche just took the racing line at just the wrong moment there as far as this pack is concerned. So Vesta trying to get a bit of... Make up your mind, Mr. Proudly. Point in a direction of... I know what Steve Proudly's trying to do. He's trying to find where Tim Kroll is. But he's still there. You can see on the tower how close they are. 6 tenths between Krebs and Vesta. 4 between Krebs and Kroll. So that Lexus has been very, very mighty, particularly on corner exit. But with that McLaren in the way, this is a perfect opportunity for Klaus Vesta to try and run off into the distance if he can. But again, that McLaren doesn't have enough pace to keep up with the Aston at this stage in the race. With how much those tails have been wagging on the McLaren, we will have to see. Oh, and again, the McLaren just wandering a little bit wide coming through the curve of Misano. That's going to cost him that tiny bit of momentum. And that's all that Vesta needs just to keep the pressure off of him at the moment. Oh, wow. Kroll getting very, very close to the McLaren. Not able to make the move at the moment, though. Oh, again, the McLaren just a little bit shy. Getting on the power again if the tail's misbehaving. Oh, and he catches it. We've seen quite a few cars going off there, just catching that apex a little too hard. And that's going to put Tim Kroll alongside. But the McLaren's going to have the inside line. Can Daniel Krebs hang on to that 10th spot as they come together? Klaus Vesta's not needing another invitation of this. Oh, wow. So, goodness me, Tim Kroll got a bit of a punch in the face and then gave you straight back again. He's going to have the inside line. There you go. That's the move now to the Lexus. That's not what Klaas Vester would have wanted. He would have wanted that battle to carry on forever and a day, so he could just quietly slip off toward, well, just away, basically. Not going to happen, though. That Lexus has managed to, well, can break away from the McLaren now, but Daniel Krebs, oh, that was risky. He went quite wide there. It was almost onto the dust. That was very nearly a spin, but he managed to keep it. Oh, a drive-through for the 77 McLaren, beg your pardon, as Fabrizio Tori has had a torrid time in that 3-2 Aston Martin. And we've just seen him going off onto the dust. But it's a drive-through penalty for our second place car, the 77 McLaren. Held the lead early on, and unfortunately has now earned himself a drive-through penalty, so that's going to cost him quite a bit of time. Is it going to cost him enough to lose the position? Unlikely. There's just about 48.5 seconds there, so a drive-through is not going to cost that much. It is certainly going to help bring Chris Vickers into play as far as that's concerned. Daniel Krebs still on the back of the Lexus, so he's not letting Tim Kroll just run away, and that's exactly what Vester wants. Oh, what a move from Krebs! He really had the drive coming through the, to complete sector one, and now it's a little bit boxed in behind the GT4 Porsche, but then in turn tried to box the Lexus in behind it, and that's 10th position back to the McLaren. This battle could well carry on until the checkered flag. Certainly hope so, because he's looking pretty sharp at the moment. And there you can see Vester just going out of the shot. That's how much advantage he's now gained as a result of these two fighting. 2.1 seconds between Vester and now Krebs as the Aston Martin in 9th. Once he got to the next car, 17.7 seconds. So he's not likely to close in, not unless Callum Boyd makes a mistake in the Lamborghini in 7th position, but anything is possible. What Steve got in mind for us. So Tim Kroll in the Lexus. Oh, it's been shoved very unceremoniously to behave himself to a point. There is Daniel Krebs on the back of Klaas Vester, as mentioned. So just a few tenths between the Aston and the McLaren for 9th position at the moment.
Vickers is only 7 seconds behind Adrian as well now.
He is indeed. Chris Vickers is closing in. Adrian did have the drive-through, but Chris Vickers had the fastest lap and is still doing 134s, whereas Kelechi, our leader, is in the 36.5s. So Chris Vickers is just nailing his foot to the bulkhead. I reckon he can see a potential for second here, and he's absolutely flying with less than, well, now 14 minutes to go. Oh, as Klaas Vester has either tangled with someone. That is Klaas Vester. So he's either tangled with someone or he got distracted by someone being off the road there, because he suddenly was slow. He just made a mistake. I did see someone off the road, so I wonder if he was put off by someone else's incident. And that's allowed Daniel Krebs to creep through into 9th place. And I would imagine the McLaren doesn't want to hang around to invite Mr. Vester to attack him back. So he's going to try and pull away as best he can as he goes very, very wide. Coming through Kelechi.
Vickers is 5.5 seconds behind now. Am I reading that correct? It's a bit blurry on my screen.
Well, Vickers to Adrian, yeah, around about that. So this is Vester, and there. Oh, what on earth? What was the GT4 car doing? I wonder whether the GT4 car actually caught the rumble strip on the outside and just caused that tiny snap of oversteer. I've unfortunately done a very similar thing once before when I was being lapped. I was more concentrating on giving the person lapping me room, and I didn't see my own trajectory. Caught the outside rumble strip and catapulted myself into the then race leader. I was not a popular man for doing that. Again, another reason why I tend to go for the commentary position. But that impact has cost Vester pace, because look at the difference now. That is 2 seconds between Krebs and Vester. So that Aston is probably carrying some wounds now. Is Currently, he's just starting his lap. He might beat the flag again. We will see. It depends. I mean, he's got plenty of time. He could just absolutely coast at this point. He would certainly be doing the 69 team a bit of a favour if he didn't beat the flag. But we'll see what he does. 1 more minute until the flag is ready. And 1.2 seconds between Vickers and Adrian. That gap has suddenly shrunk very big. Shrunk by a huge margin. Has the 77 encountered a problem? Well, has encountered traffic more than anything else. That's people getting out of the way. It's basically all or nothing now for Chris Vickers, because I suspect the 267 Ferrari is not going to beat the flag. He could, but he's probably not going to. We will see. So Chris Vickers has to get past this lap. And that gap has grown slightly. 1.5 seconds. You've just seen the 77 McLaren go out of the shot. Picture in picture is our race leader. 10 seconds. He's not going to do it from there. So this is the final lap. So your winner of the 2.4 hours of Misano is the number 267, being brought home by Adria Caracci. Very great stuff. But who is going to take second? It looks like just about by less than a second. It is going to be the McLaren. He's still got to fend off the advances. Van Kooten and Boyd have crossed the line. That's everybody up to 6th, was a lap behind. It looks like Adrian's going to do it unless he flies off the road now. No, he's not going to fly off the road. So second place is going to go to car number 77, piloted home by Adrian. Third just was Chris Vickers in the 333. There's our GT4 leader that is going to lead by quite some considerable distance. Did the 69 make it? We'll check in with them in a minute. Look at that. As various GT3s are buzzing around the GT4. What? That's was someone flying off the road. I've forgotten who's in that car. Unfortunately, my brain has gone dead on who's planning to do that one. I think
Berkman. It's Workman.
Oh, Berkman, yes. Yeah, good spot. So there's your GT4 winner. It is the treble one Porsche being brought home by Dennis Berkman. Flash of the lights. He's happy with that, and quite rightly so. And the 69 car did indeed make it. One more corner to go. And there it is. Danny DeSwart. He lost time to... he's going to lose that 4th position in the end due to penalties, but they did indeed make it home. I'm sure there's a huge sigh of relief for them. But what a race, gentlemen. What a race it's been. We're seeing some great highlights here. There's Vesta and Krebs having an argument on lap 3 indeed. Yeah, that was when... See, even commentating on a replay, I still get excited about these things. Of course, we know how it went. It was still great to see. And Klaus Vesta, I mean, fair play for doing the whole stint on his own, like we said earlier, because there's limitations on how long a single driver is allowed to race for. He will have a post-race penalty, which is a shame, but that is the nature of the beast.